lost, but let's get these dudes back on the high horse. I don't know. Get their morale up. Whisper sweet nothings in their ear, jack them off. I don't give a fuck.
Walk-ons, what's going on? It's Sam Stillwell, the walk-on coach, and I am back again to give y'all the realities of being a walk-on, man. That's what this channel is about, helping high school athletes and college athletes prepare and navigate that walk-on experience. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you're new to the channel, man, I rarely give high detail about my experience because it's really not about me. But long story short, I had a rough walk-on experience, and I observed a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things, and that's what I'm here to give y'all through my channel. Man, ultimately, I want to prepare y'all for that experience so you can overcome those obstacles. In my experience, I was constantly overcoming, but at a certain point, you know, you can't control certain things. So I chose to control what I can control, and I chose to end my suffering as a walk-on, and I chose to move on with my life and put my time to what will be more valuable, what will be more important to my life. But what I'm here to do is give you that information up front. I'm here to tell you what the coaches might not be telling you. It's almost guaranteed they're not telling you. I mean, they're people. They have a job to do. They're busy people. They're trying to win. They don't have the time, or they don't take the time to sit down with every walk-on and give you the game or every detail, especially if it's not beneficial to them to tell you that. They're not going to tell you, man. None of my videos on this channel are "this is the coaches." Man, coaches have had a huge impact on my life, and I know coaches really impact a lot of people's lives, and a lot of them are great people, but I still got to give you the reality. And as always, this is never to discourage you from pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals. This is just to prepare you. Like I said, I want to prepare you, give you the information so you can properly position yourself mentally and physically to succeed. And that's the bottom line. And with that being said, if you're new to the channel, or if you've been a member for a while, drop your name, your position, your location in the comments so we can start to get to know each other. I really want to know who all are in this walk-on community, and I want to get to everybody's situation and help any way I can. So it would be so kind of like, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, because this is critical information you need as an athlete, and especially as a walk-on, to succeed and prepare yourself. I don't think you're getting this information anywhere else, so go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you would like to really stay locked in and get even more insider information, I'm gonna leave the link to the site, thewalkoncoach.com, in the description, and you'll just go on the site, you'll just enter in your name and email, and that way we can stay connected regardless of anything that happens to YouTube. Also on the site, you'll be able to download your free PDF of the realities of being a walk-on.
Lost, but let's get these dudes back on the high horse. I don't know. Get their morale up. Whisper sweet nothings in their ear, jack them off. I don't give a fuck.
Whisper sweet nothings in their ear. Whisper sweet nothings in their ear.
And like that clip from Last Chance U, Coach Jason Brown. First of all, I love Last Chance U. Man, I think my favorite season, though, my favorite coach has to be the Last Chance U basketball coach from, I think it was like East LA, something like that. That has to be my favorite coach. But back to the point. Listen here, Coach Jason Brown just gave a secret away. I'm pretty sure coaches all across America are looking at him like, you can't tell him that. But most people probably didn't even pick it up. But I picked it up, and I'm here to let y'all know this is something that they do. This is a strategy that coaches use sometimes. like you said, they whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Things like, I see you working. You keep putting in that work. We might have a spot for you on the field. Now, I'm not here to tell you that every time they say that it's a lie or it's a sweet nothing. I'm just here to tell you that it's a possibility that it could be. These sweet nothings, man, they can hurt. If you're a player that you are a hard worker, you might be one of the hardest workers on the team, and a coach comes and tells you, you know, we see you putting in this work and we might have a spot for you on kickoff. You've been waiting for this for a year, 2 years, and you've been putting in the work, and you finally think that, you know, this might be your chance, and you've already been working hard, extremely hard, but because this sweet nothing was given to you, you put in extra work. You go even harder to prepare yourself. And let's say it's camp, right? The season hasn't started yet, so you're going hard for months and months and weeks, and you get to game one, and you're a walk-on, so you realize you might not play every game, but you get to game one, you prepared yourself, so you're on an emotional high. You know you're prepared, you put in the work. Game one, you don't play. It might, you know, it's game one, so it might hurt just a tad bit. But next week, you're still motivated. You prepare yourself. You hit this emotional high. Then the game occurs and you don't play. Boom. Drop. Game 3. Boom. Game 4. Boom. And that's what my experience was. A lot of hyping myself up so that I can put in the work I need to put in to be prepared and over-prepared, and then get to the moment of truth and sitting on the sideline. That hurts, man. And that's just a reality that happens. It happened to me over and over again, and that's kind of what sent me into a depression. But I don't want that to happen to you. So that's why I'm letting you know up front that this is a reality. This is something that happens. And so the first concept is, I mean, a lot of us understand as a walk-on, you're coming in as an underdog. But I want to dive into that a little bit deeper, because it's not just an underdog. As a walk-on, you're coming in because the coaches need scout team players. The coaches need players that can get their expected starters better and prepare them for the game. And the reason why that is because they give players scholarships to come and play and perform. They're paying that player to come and perform. They're investing in that player to come and perform and help that school excel and win championships. Now, this changes a little bit from division to division, because Division 1, they have money to basically, you know, put 11 people on the field with scholarships. Now, as you get lower to like Division 2 and Division 3, everybody's not going to be on a scholarship. So sometimes they need walk-ons to also fill those positions. But this is just a general concept of money comes first, investments come first, which makes plenty of sense, but it may not be beneficial to you as a walk-on. So, you know, when you first come in, you know, they're thinking about you as being a scout team player, and you're basically going to have to prove to them that they need you on the field versus in that scout team position. Another thing that I think is important to know is that you're dealing with people. Coaches are people, and because people gravitate towards certain personalities, certain people that do certain things, coaches are going to do the same thing. And that's going to change depending upon, you know, who the coach is and what the school culture is and just things like that. For instance, like some coaches like people who are skilled players, but they also have a mouth behind them. Some coaches like that. Coaches like dogs. Dogs that, they might even fight one of their teammates every now and again. They just like to see that dog. It's certain things that coaches like, and I would always be yourself, but understand that different schools and different coaches have different cultures, and you might want to think about that. It's probably the last thing you want to think about because it's not priority, but depending on your personality, you might fit better with different coaches, and that is one thing you might want to consider when picking a school to walk on to. And that's actually something that all athletes want to consider, whether they're scholarship or walk on, because scholarship players can lose their scholarship and become a walk-on, as well as walk-ons can earn a scholarship and become a scholarship player. So here's another concept for you. First of all, I always promote that you pursue academics as well, that you work hard academically. You make sure you pick a major that you actually want to do something with outside of football, something that's lucrative, and make sure you are doing what you need to do academically to have that GPA to get some certain experience so that you have job options in the future, just in case, all your football dreams don't work out. But related to academics, athletic teams have a minimum GPA. They have to meet a minimum average GPA. So out of everybody's GPA on the team, they have to meet an average. So if you are a high academic performer, they might need you on the team. And the reason I'm telling you this is because if you're a walk-on and you are wanting to get play time and you're working hard, you could be being used as an academic placeholder just to boost that minimum average GPA or that average GPA for the team. That's a possibility. Do not automatically assume that, but I just want you to be aware that that is a thing. And if you find that without a doubt that, they might be just using you for your academics, you might want to make a decision. Whatever that decision is, I can't tell you, but I know your goals might be to actually play. So if they're using you, you might have to figure something out. As a walk-on athlete, be prepared to work for free, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to have to show up, work hard, put in blood, sweat, and tears just like everybody else, but you get no compensation. You get no compensation until you earn a scholarship, until you work your way up to be able to get on the field. You're going to have to be okay with receiving nothing for all your hard work. And I mean, you could look at it as receiving nothing, or you could be a little bit more optimistic and say it's delayed gratification, that all your hard work up front is going to pay off eventually. You're eventually going to get on the field. You're eventually going to get a scholarship. And that is a great way to look at it. However, going into it, you need to just be prepared to get nothing. Turn that I need something for my work, for my efforts, off. You might have to turn that off for a year or two, just being honest with you. And honestly, that's through life, especially if you have goals larger than, maybe just working a 9 to 5, although that's awesome. If you are an entrepreneur and you're pursuing greater things like financial freedom and long-term wealth, that's a lot of upfront work with no reward. And honestly, sometimes you'll even go into negative and then have to, get that delayed gratification down the road. But that's just a principle that you have to understand as a walk-on, that you really won't be getting anything for your efforts. That wraps it up for today. For things that coaches are not telling walk-ons up front, especially up front, you might learn it on your own down the road, but I doubt they're going to tell you this, and that's why I'm here to let you know so you can prepare and overcome. Once again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Sam Stillwater, walk-on coach. Don't forget to visit the site to subscribe and get your free PDF of the realities of being a walk-on. Man, y'all take this information and y'all be great.